You're listening to Lone Star Community Radio on 104.5 KCZW LP Conroe.
And 106.1 KZCC LP Conroe. And worldwide on irlonestar.com.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dr. Carlos Sanchez on the Hispanic Chamber Connection radio show, a program that features members of the Texas Gulf Coast Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. And thank you so much for listening. We know you could be somewhere else, but you're on your computer, you're in your car, you're somewhere listening to us, and we really appreciate that. Of course, we also appreciate the sponsorship from the Amel Agency, of course, who are the folks that make this possible for us. And like I said, our goal is to help our members become better known, to help our members organize their thoughts, come out and say what they have to say for a full hour. And today, we have a wonderful program in store for you. She is a very dynamic international person who makes her home in Houston, but travels all over the world and has traveled all over the world for a long time. She lived in Spain, she lived in France, somewhere in Paris. She also comes from a pretty large family in Mexico. She lived in Mexico City, of course. And now she lives in Houston, like the Heights or some part of town like that. Her name is Mariana de Gortari. Mariana, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for inviting me, Carlos.
Okay.
I really appreciate it.
Fix me up then. What did I say wrong?
Well, okay, so I was born in Mexico City.
Born in Mexico City?
And then we moved to Paris, France right after I was born. So my first language was actually French.
Okay.
And then we moved here, and so I learned English, and then I learned Spanish through my family.
Okay, so why do you speak English so well? Did you learn French?
French was my first language, and so English was my second. I've grown up here, lived here since the age of 5, and I love it.
So,
it's been home.
It's been 20 years of living here, so, 25 years old, that's good though. Well, that's 3 languages then, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, so Mariana de Gortari, just so everybody knows, is from the De Gortari family, I should say, and some people know that Carlos Salinas de Gortari is a former Mexican president. And a lot of folks know who that is, especially if they're from this hemisphere. So Mariana, he's your uncle, right?
Yes. Okay. He is my dad's cousin. So
okay.
In Mexico, everyone's just your uncle.
Yeah,
it's easier than going second cousin.
Yeah, we don't say that. We just say he's family.
He's family.
Anyway, and speaking of family, there are 513 members in our Chamber of Commerce now. We started this program and we had probably about 150, something like that, because we've been on the air now for about a year and a half. So we've done these shows every week, always featuring our members and making sure that our members understand that this is a benefit to them. We talked about that today during our meeting. We just came here from our networking event on Tuesdays that we do once a month here in the Woodlands. And so I mentioned it to our members. A lot of them don't know that they can get on the radio with their membership. They can come here and we'll interview them, et cetera, et cetera. Why do you think do you think they're maybe afraid, some of these people?
Absolutely. I think it's a little difficult to come up here and talk about yourself.
So like intimidating, I guess. Because we do a great job of telling them, no, and you'll see, the biggest complaint I always get from people who come on the radio is that there are no mirrors where they can see themselves. Because the majority of our members are women, as you know.
Yes.
70% of our chamber are women. And so when they come here, they complain, 1, that they can't see themselves, and 2, that their hair gets messed up with the earphones. No earphones today, but you can't see yourself. So.
That's okay. My hair's usually messy.
Your hair's messed up anyway, so you really don't care. Okay, so I was just saying that we just had a meeting right now at 11:30 here in Spring Creek Barbecue on I-45 and Research Forest. We have this meeting once a month. And
yes.
What do you think we had, about 50 people there?
I'd say a little bit more.
Yeah, the restaurant was full.
Yeah.
The room was full, which is always exciting. It's exciting when we get that many people at the same time because our goal, like I said, number 1 is to make our members visible, to let them be known. Let it be known that they exist as a person, as a business, and as a chamber member. That is why at the beginning of the meeting today, I took more time than usual to introduce everybody.
Yes, you did, but it was great.
Just to make sure people know, yeah, and people that sometimes can't show up, like people like Vicky LeBeau, who does Texas Last Diet, so she helps people lose weight, tons of weight.
Yes.
Also, Salt Remedy, Cassandra Mays, who sometimes gets busy because they have businesses,
Yeah.
So that's why I brought them up and made sure people know who they are, and no less, of course, Mariana de Gortari, who is with, I'm going to say it wrong, so it's Premier Innovative Premier Financial Services. She'll explain more in a minute what that means. But for now, Innovative Premier Financial Services. If you want to know more at any time during this program, text me directly. My number is 469-879-7398. 469-879-7398. Send me a text. We can ask Mariana de Gortari a question here live on the air. I'm going to ask her any questions that you text, except the ones that she can't answer. Right?
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Okay, so we were talking about our meeting today, about 55 maybe people that showed up today for lunch. And then we have other meetings during the week. We had a meeting yesterday, of course, in my office, which is a focus meeting. And that meeting, basically, it's every Monday.
Yeah.
But we're going to start doing the same meeting in Galleria.
Yeah.
So we're going to take away a Monday from the Woodlands and start it in the Galleria probably as of mid-December or early January.
I'm super excited.
But it's weird. Let me tell you why it's weird. People get really funny. This is just, I know it's a bias, but I've seen it so many times. They get really funny during these 2 months about business.
Absolutely. Like most of their clients, we tend to check out a little bit during this time. We're worried about the holidays.
Right.
And honestly, it's a great time for business.
Oh, sure. I mean, our chamber has always thrived in November and December. Scheduling things, though, especially with three locations in the Woodlands, Conroe, and Katy, and in Galleria, that's been interesting because we do more than 30 events per month.
Yeah.
So we're always very active. And November is going to be kind of interesting because mid-November we have to stop. Not have to, but we want to because it's Thanksgiving.
Yes.
And by then, though, our gala, which is coming up December 1st is gala, it will be on. So right after Thanksgiving, you have to say, okay, 1 week left and it's gala, you know? And for the gala, just so listeners know, we have 200 seats and we're selling out very quickly. So if you're listening and you haven't purchased your tickets yet, guys, go to mytexaschamber.org and you can purchase your tickets there right online. It's very easy, very fast, and you'll be able to join us. There's going to be all kinds of things happening during the gala. And I think that something that people don't realize, it's also an awards ceremony. I didn't really mention that today. So we're going to have Small Business of the Year, Member of the Year, and things like that. And we're also going to have the turning over of the chairman. I'm not even sure what that ceremony is called, but we're going to have the chairman swear. He's going to swear himself in, not himself. We'll swear him in.
We'll swear him in.
And we'll wish Nana Alonso. Nana Alonso is an executive with Wells Fargo. We'll wish her good luck and farewell and thank you for the 3 years of service she's given us. Something interesting about people who join to do things. Nana was always very, very resourceful. She was always able to help us, especially where we needed most, which is financially.
Yeah.
And that's exactly how some of these things work. If you can't be there, sponsor something.
Absolutely.
That's what we were talking about earlier.
Well, we've got members that are going to be giving away door prizes.
Yeah.
We're also going to have contests for the best dancer, the best dress. Ladies, dust off your husbands,
Yes,
bring
for
them
sure.
in. I'm bringing mine.
Yeah.
And if you cannot be there, think about sponsoring a table.
For
you're
sure.
still going to get the visibility, and
Yeah.
we really appreciate it.
And we
It's gonna
really
be-
need it.
Yeah.
It's interesting. We had one of our members, I forget her name, she said, I can't invite my husband. I go, why not? Just get the tickets. She goes, well, she goes, he's a cowboy. I said, so what do you think you are, New York? Like, bring your, of course he could be a cowboy. And, I asked her, does he have nice boots? She goes, he has real nice boots. Like, well, when does he wear those nice boots? Does he take them to the ranch? She goes, of course not. So he takes his boots to church. He should take his boots to the gala.
Hey, I'm dragging mine away from the hunting cabin, so if I can do it, you guys can do it.
Yeah. So it's just a matter now of making the decision, mytexaschamber.org, and you can purchase your tickets there. So we look forward to seeing you. All right, so next Thursday, you've not been there, to 9:20 a.m. We have a radio show also in Spanish.
I've been there once.
And you've been there once, okay. Well, that's going to be another one of our homes. When we
Absolutely.
start doing business in the Galleria, we're going to have, or when we start increasing our business and our visibility in the Galleria, we're going to be taking people to interview to that program in Spanish.
Yeah.
So it's all in Spanish, so there's no conflict of any kind. I mean, it's a whole different city and everything else. Basically, it's a show that is going to feature our members who speak Spanish.
Yeah.
And who like to do business in Spanish. And that's a cultural thing, too. A lot of folks don't know that people who speak Spanish want to hear important information in Spanish.
Yes, they
not
do.
necessarily in English. especially with the first generation.
Absolutely. I can tell you that both my parents are much more comfortable doing business in Spanish than they are in English.
Really? And so
Absolutely.
where do your parents live?
Well, that's a funny question that you should ask. My mom lives across the street from me, and my dad lives with me, as they both got sick in the same year. And so, coming from first generation here, you got to take care of your folks.
Okay, that wasn't entirely my question. My question was just do they live here in Houston or not?
Oh, yeah,
But you gave us a little bit more than we needed, which is good. Thank you, Mariana. That's very upfront of you. And yes, in Hispanic culture also, just people ask these questions all the time. Why are our parents sometimes in our homes? And that's kind of how we grow up. There's no question ever about whether or not they're going to be outside your home. They're going to be in your home. That's how my mother is with my brothers and sisters in Mexico. She takes turns. And we have so many brothers and sisters, she never gets bored, So, there's 10 of them living down there. But that's just how it is. And Americans sometimes look at that and they don't really understand, so they try to sell us like senior care stuff.
Oh, yes.
And it's just a different culture. So there's a different way of looking at it, all the way around.
Absolutely.
So that's on Thursday. Thursday's our radio show. On Friday, we have something very special for members who speak Spanish again.
Yes.
That's sales training.
So many small business owners have never gone through, small, sales training or anything that's offered through a big corporation. And that's one of the benefits you get by being a member of this chamber is you get specialized sales training, not only in English, but in Spanish as well. And so I really hope, I know it's sold out, but we're going to have another one and we hope that you all come.
Yeah, especially if you know anyone who speaks Spanish on your staff. Everybody assumes they can sell to people who speak Spanish. I got to tell you guys something. Coming from someone who studied this and taught this and seen this all his life, it is not the same. If you make that assumption, you'll waste a lot of time and spend a ton of money. And you just have to understand it's a whole different mindset. So when we come back, we're going to look at the mindset of someone who, like I said, is making a big difference in the Hispanic community. I'm here with Mariana de Gortari, and we're going to talk to her about innovative Premier Financial Services when we come back. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Don't forget to download the Lone Star Community Radio app from your Google Play or Apple Store. Bring Montgomery County's community radio with you anywhere with your smartphone or tablet. If you are in the Conroe area, tune in on FM. That's Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1. If you are on the computer, bookmark irlonestar.com as your internet radio station. A Lone Star Community Radio, broadcasting 24/7 from the heart of downtown Conroe, Texas.
We have the safest food supply in the world. Strict laws and regulations restrict the usage of hormones, antibiotics, and pesticides within our food supply. Production agriculture practices and technologies such as the use of GMOs, which is not any more or less risky than conventional crop production, has allowed American farmers to produce more food on less acres in environmentally sound ways. Find out more online at pathtotheplate.tamu.edu. We are Texas A&M AgriLife Extension, helping Texans make lives better.
Did you know that there are over 153 million orphans in the world today? The sad reality is 99% of those kids will likely never be adopted. Core Love is an organization right here in Conroe that takes care of orphan children in Haiti, Honduras, and India. We bring the love of Jesus by providing their 6 basic needs of clean water, proper food, healthcare, education, job skills, and a loving home. Visit corelove.org, that's CORELUV.org. Will you help defend the orphan?
The Hispanic Chamber Connection is sponsored by the Yamel Insurance Agency, located at 719 Sawdust Road, Suite 103, The Woodlands, Texas. The Yamel Agency is a family-owned insurance agency that provides home, life, automobile, and umbrella insurance coverage. Since 2006, the Yamel Agency has been a bilingual insurance service for businesses and private citizens in the Montgomery County area. For more information on the Yamel Insurance Agency, please visit the Hispanic Chamber Connection at www.irlonestar.com/HCC. The Yamel Insurance Agency is available by telephone at 832-525-5656 or online www.yamelagency.com. The Yamel Insurance Agency is a sponsor of this program, and the Hispanic Chamber Connection thanks you.
Hispanic Chamber Connections with Dr. Carlos Sanchez, President of the Woodlands Conroe Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, featuring event announcements, member highlights, and more. Tuesdays at 1 p.m., broadcasting from the heart of Conroe, Texas on irlonestar.com and Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for listening. I'm Dr. Carlos Sanchez, the Hispanic Chamber Connection radio show, a program that features members of the Texas Gulf Coast Hispanic Chamber of Commerce that could be in Katy, the Galleria, and of course, the Woodlands Conroe. And the Woodlands Conroe area is where we're located right now. We're in City Hall, and we're broadcasting live, and we will answer any questions you have for Mariana de Gortari. Mariana de Gortari is one of our members who offices in the area of Houston. She's our executive director in the Galleria area. But as you might know, she's right here in the studio with us, so she drove all the way up here because it's worth it. You know, it's interesting, we were talking about this before too. We have members who, you know, who wish they could come up or down or go to different locations of our chamber, but say, I'm just not going there. I refuse. And that's okay. You know, some people just, they are averse to, you know, the interlopers. You know, there's folks like that. And we have several who, you know, I don't mean to offend them or anything, but when I told them, you know, our radio programs in Conroe, they're like, I'm not going there, and I'm never going to go there. You're not going to make me. And I'm like, you already paid to be a member. As far as I'm concerned, you don't want the benefit. You don't have to have the benefit. There's too many people asking for those benefits. But I got to tell you this too. There are people who live in the Woodlands that if you tell them to go to Galleria, they are not going to Galleria. They don't care. They said no. So I think it's kind of a mutual thing, you know?
Well, you know, it is a little bit of a mutual thing. The traffic is, it's Houston. Traffic is going to be traffic. I mean, but I love the fact that we have different benefits, and each group has its own dynamic.
Sure.
And they're all really fun groups. So I drove out, went to the luncheon today, had a great time, got to see some folks that I only get to see if I come out to the Woodlands.
Sure.
And then came out here. I spent the day out here, and it's a great time.
You know what's interesting? Just
Yeah.
something that you mentioned, that at today's meeting, we probably had, what, like 5 or 6 or 7 financial services people?
Quite a few, yes. 5 or 6, yeah.
But it's weird, though, because we've had other meetings, especially in Galleria, where we have 6 or 7 financial people, and they're all like, you know, because it's less, the group is like 20 people, and half the group, well, maybe 30 people, and 10 of them are financial services. In today's meeting, I didn't feel that overwhelm of financial services people. It felt okay. I mean, it was, you know, average.
Absolutely.
I felt more overwhelmed of the realtors that were there today. There were a lot of realtors today.
There were a lot of realtors today.
So last week, Martha Mata, is that her last name? Guerrero? She's a real estate professional who was here. We interviewed her here last week, along with Andrea Teveri and another lady named Gloria Irene. So they were all interviewed here last week. Martha's, of course, real estate.
Yes.
And but then we had other people like Flores,
Alma
Flores, who came all the way from way far away.
Yeah, she lives even further than I do. She lives out in Richmond, Rosenberg.
Can you imagine? And she came all the way up here.
Yes.
So there's got to be something to be said about the things we're doing. If anything, there's not a lot of organizations that are doing this kind of work.
Well, you know, here's the thing that Alma and I both recognize is that there is such value in meeting all the different groups of people. And you know, even when there are quite a few of us that are in financial services, what we do is we work together.
Sure.
There's enough business to go around. It's a chamber. And part of it, yes, it is for business. But the best part of this chamber is I really have created some really special relationships and friendships. And that is incredible. You can't say that for other networking groups.
Oh, we try. You know, and like I said, somebody was telling me today, because I asked him, you know, so you're going to be a member? Do you want to join our Chamber of Commerce? And he said, well, I think I'm going to give my money to BNI because, you know, I'm going to just do that. And I said, okay. You know, and he goes, yeah, because, you know, there's something to be said about us meeting every week. And I said, I know, but we meet 30 times a month, rather, right? So even with BNI that you meet once a week, that's only 4 times a month. If that's what you're into, that excess, you know, of networking. And that's the same group.
Yeah. I mean,
it's a difference, that's all.
Yeah, I've never done BNI, so I can't speak to it, but...
Oh, we
really-
like BNI. There's nothing wrong with BNI.
Yeah.
But if you have to choose between our Chamber of Commerce and BNI, yeah, choose the Chamber. Come
I'm
on,
gonna
guys.
choose this place,
All right.
obviously.
This is Mariana de Gortari. Mariana de Gortari is a financial services expert. She is with Innovative Premier Financial Services, and she can help you, especially your family, your kids, ensure your future. So Mariana de Gortari, tell us a little bit about just the kind of services you provide and that. What is Innovative Premier Financial Services, please?
So, well, thank you. So part of what my team and I do is we have a couple of different things that we do. We provide protection because even if you invest all your money and you gain lots in dividends, if you don't have that protection wrapper around it, you will still lose your investment. So protection and then investment, where we grow your money, and then legacy planning. So many people leave this earth, and unfortunately, when they leave this earth, they leave their money to Uncle Sam. Do you want to leave it to your kids? Do you want to leave it to the government? Or do you want to leave it to your favorite charity? And so I will never tell my clients what to do, but I will help you and give you suggestions based on what you tell me you want to do.
Okay. So how can somebody reach you, Mariana?
Thank you. That's a great question. You can reach me by calling my cell phone. That is 832-884-0430. Again, that number is 832-884-0430.
We're talking to Mariana de Gortari. Mariana de Gortari is a financial services expert with Innovative Premier Financial Services. And it's interesting that you remembered your name and your phone number. You know, there's times, and not everybody, but sometimes here on the show, that we'll ask the person being interviewed, okay, give us your phone number, give us your website, and they forget. But that's just the pressure, I guess. And so we have this video that I didn't send it to you because you don't need it, but we send it to people to prepare for the show. And one of the big points is, of course, that they remember their vital information. So in the end, though, Mariana, okay, so let's say, for instance, I have a $1 million sort of portfolio of stuff, like company and money and all that, right?
Investments and whatnot.
Investments and all that. Do you guys basically, like one of your services is to audit that and make sure it's in order?
Absolutely. Well, I mean, each client's going to be different. So what my team and I do is see what you've got in brokerage, see what you've got in investments and protection as well, go through it, and then ask you, what do you want to do? Where do you want to be in 5 years, 10 years, 20, et cetera? And then we can show you some different ideas based on what you tell us.
Okay, and those ideas have to do with you, with investing my money and with repositioning it and things like that?
Absolutely. Well, I mean, you, for example, right now, you're pretty young, but you might start thinking about retirement.
Right.
Whereas somebody that's maybe in their 20s is just thinking about starting a family, or they're starting to think about where their kids are going to go to college, and college is super expensive. You know, the number one wealth eroder is always going to be inflation.
Okay.
It's not, kids, don't get me wrong, children are wealth eroders,
Sure.
but they're not bigger. The biggest wealth eroder is always going to be inflation.
Really?
Yes.
But even
Yes.
what's the inflation rate right now? It's pretty low, right? I mean, it has to be really low. Anyway, because
I'm not sure right now.
Yeah, we
I'd
haven't
have to
really
get
seen
to my
a
computer.
a shift in prices, but over time is what you're talking about. That
Absolutely. Well, college goes up, but normally college inflation rates go up about 5% a year.
and if anybody that's part of a college that makes those decisions, that's ridiculous. Just so you guys know, it's really infuriating because it's just like healthcare now. You know, it's how expensive these things get. Just because they do it. There's no other real value reason why, a company would charge. I had a friend who was in a hospital, and when she checked out, she looked at her bill, $50 for a box of Kleenex. Like, can you imagine
Not
that? You can feed a
surprised.
family for that. It's just crazy. Well, but it's one of those things. And then another one of our friends, he's a member, I think it was, he showed us a bill where the clinic thought he had insurance, so they charged him one amount. And he said, I don't have insurance, I'm going to pay cash. And it was like 30%.
Absolutely.
It just went.
Well, I will say this. One of the bills that is on the Senate floor, I believe, is where the pharmacists will be able to tell you if it's cheaper to pay by cash, out of pocket, or through insurance.
Right. It's pretty, and I guess it's all the administrative things. I mean, they have their own reasons for charging what they charge. It's just in the end, though, the consumer still gets the hit. But that's not what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen. We're here with Mariana de Gortari. She is a financial services expert. She's with Innovative Premier Financial Services. So, Mariana, do you have anybody listening to this program that you need to talk to right now? Is there somebody out there listening to you? Is Chris your other half?
My better half?
Better and other, whatever?
I believe he is listening to me. So if you're listening, babe, I love you.
So it's irlonestar.com, irlonestar.com. They can go on the website, and I think that's much faster, especially if they're in Houston.
Yes.
So if he's in Houston, he can text me directly, and we can ask you some questions. If maybe he forgot where you left something at home, and you can tell him. I'm not sure. Bottom line is we can interact with our members. We can interact with you if you have any questions. So tell us, Mariana, before you started doing financial services, what were you doing? What is your background with that?
So I have had some different careers,
Yeah.
and it's all good. So when I was 18 years old, I actually worked for a dual diagnosis treatment center. And what that means is I dealt with young adults and teenagers that struggled with alcoholism and drug addiction.
Okay.
And I was their program director, and so that gave me a huge heart for young people and nonprofits. But unfortunately, being a mom, sometimes that's not conducive to mommyhood and also, making some money.
Sure.
And so I went into telecom, and while it was great, and I learned a lot of great sales skills, my heart wasn't in it. There was no purpose. There was no meaning to it other than when I was helping my clients, which was great. I have some great clients through that, and they are actually clients of my firm now. But like I said, there was no purpose in it. There was I had no heart in it. My life wasn't, my
Okay.
heart wasn't in it. And so one day a recruiter called me and said, hey, somebody gave me your number and said, you would be really good at this. And I said, what do I have to lose? So I met with him, and I went over to a captive. And when I say captive, a lot of the larger firms that you guys hear of are, the well-known ones, the ones that, advertise on ESPN or, Sunday Night Football. And so I went there for a little bit, but realized that I don't want to be with a captive. I do like working.
What do you mean captive? Is that a firm? Is that
A captive could be anything from, if you remember MetLife is captive, New York Life, Northwestern, all
those
of
are the bigger financial.
Yes.
So, okay.
Yes.
That's what you guys mean by captive. That's a little more
Yes.
technical. All right.
Yes, and so what they do, and I'm not saying that they're great. They're great.
We love
and
them.
They're there for a purpose. But what I like to do is work with people on an individual level and sell them. I don't want to sell them a product. I want to do what's best for my client.
Okay.
And when you're an independent, you get to do that a little bit better.
All right. So the question was, what got you into this anyway? I mean, was it just opportunity?
Well, so a little bit of opportunity. That's just the way God works. But the other part was earlier in the show, you were asking me about my parents. One of the things is, as a first generation Hispanic person, what I'm taking care of my parents, and as much as I love them, I don't want that for my children.
Okay.
And so
You don't want what for your children?
I don't want them to have to take care of me. When they're older, I want them to go out, live their lives, and have a family and not worry about me. And so what I've done is I've been able to plan my retirement to ensure that they never have to do that. And,
Okay.
And so vice versa, I want to help other people do that as well.
Very good. So if you want this kind of benefit, ladies and gentlemen, and you're listening, Innovative Premier Financial Services, Mariana de Gortari is one of their experts and one of their staff members. So you can give her a buzz very simply. Just call the number she's going to say in a minute.
832-884-0430.
So this is Mariana de Gortari, and I'm Dr. Carlos Sanchez with the Hispanic Chamber Connection radio show. We're going to learn a lot more from Mariana when we come back, so please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Lone Star Community Radio is looking for those who are interested in hosting their own talk show. With monthly and weekly slots available on Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1, and on irlonestar.com. Start your own podcast, create your first YouTube channel, and be on TV. Contact Lone Star Community Radio online at irlonestar.com or call the station message line at 936-647-3776.
Path to the Plate is a research-based education program that helps consumers understand how their food choices impact their health by making the connection to agriculture. Learning about how food is grown and produced, and how consumers can make better food choices for themselves and their families, Path to the Plate is all about dispelling myths and misconceptions. Find out more online at pathtotheplate.tamu.edu. We are Texas A&M AgriLife Extension, helping Texans make their lives better.
The Hispanic Chamber Connection is sponsored by the Yamel Insurance Agency, located at 719 Sawdust Road, Suite 103, The Woodlands, Texas. The Yamel Agency is a family-owned insurance agency that provides home, life, automobile, and umbrella insurance coverage. Since 2006, the Yamel Agency has been a bilingual insurance service for businesses and private citizens in the Montgomery County area. For more information on the Yamel Insurance Agency, please visit the Hispanic Chamber Connection at www.irlonestar.com/HCC. The Yamel Insurance Agency is available by telephone at 832-525-5656 or online www.yamelagency.com. The Yamel Insurance Agency is a sponsor of this program, and the Hispanic Chamber Connection thanks you.
Hey guys, this is Connor.
This is Dick.
This is Chris.
And we're with the Ticket Stub Podcast every Thursday live at noon on 104.5 and 106.1 FM in the Conroe area. Also, anytime at irlonestar.com. You go to irlonestar.com/TTS. You can find all of our social media.
And don't forget, we give away 2 tickets to the Grand Theater on every show.
If you like movies and you like complaining or celebrating anything that has to do with the silver screen, check out the Ticket Stub Podcast and join us every Thursday at noon o'clock on Lone Star Community Radio.
Lone Star Community Radio is looking for those who are interested in hosting their own talk show. With monthly and weekly slots available on Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1, and on irlonestar.com. Start your own podcast, create your first YouTube channel, and be on TV. Contact Lone Star Community Radio online at irlonestar.com or call the message line at 936-647-3776 to take your first step into the radio world.
We're back. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Dr. Carlos Sanchez, the Hispanic Chamber Connection radio show, where we feature members of the Texas Gulf Coast Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. About 513 members total. About 63% of them are women. About 40% of the total of that amount of people are not Hispanic. About 10% to 15 maybe speak Spanish fluently. Most speak Spanish. But the whole idea, though, I guess what I'm trying to tell people is that we're very, very diverse, because we also have a lot of folks in our chamber that could check the little box that says other when you ask them about their ethnic background, if you're going to ask those things. Because we do have folks that, they're from various different parts of the world. And, like Violeta Brown. You know who Violeta is?
Absolutely. She's a wonderful photographer.
She does photography, especially boudoir photography.
Yes.
And we're very excited for Violeta because she's venturing on her own, and she's a single mom, and she's doing all this work, and very, very, very high quality pictures. And if you want to know about her high quality pictures, just go to her Facebook, but mainly go to her Instagram, where she posts pictures that she's of some of her art, and boudoir photography. Just so you guys know, a lot of folks don't know what this is. How would you describe it, Mariana? It's like Mariana putting on a bikini and posing just for her husband.
Yeah.
Something like that, right?
Something like that.
And if Mariana doesn't want to put on a bikini, wants to put on something else, or nothing at all, she can do that too.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
But it's a very private and a very intimate form of photography, and Violeta is very good at it.
And she's super classy.
Right. And if you ask her, do you do headshots? She'll say, no, I do not do headshots. I do that. So she's a specialist.
Absolutely.
Which in the end, that's
wonderful.
what you need anyway,
Oh, yeah, and she's wonderful at it. I've seen her work through some of the Facebook groups, and they're phenomenal.
So speaking of those groups, so you network all over town, yes?
No.
Okay, so you network in different parts of town. Like, where else do you go? What other groups do you visit that you've seen.
Well, I don't really visit any other groups.
Did you mention women helping women or something?
Oh, I don't go to that.
I thought I saw you on Facebook once. You were with, what's her name? That girl that does, I shouldn't say what's her name. She has a name, and she's a very sweet lady. I think it's Dora. Yes, Ramen.
No.
Ramen.
Oh, Mona.
Mona.
She's
Sorry,
awesome.
Mona. If you're listening, Mona, we love you, and we didn't forget you.
Mona. Well, she invited me to Women Driving Business.
Women Driving Business.
And that is a seminar series put on by the West Houston Chamber.
Mm.
And while it's a great group, don't get me wrong, it's wonderful, but I'm not a member. This is actually the only place I choose to network because this is the place I have found the most value. Now, I also will talk to anyone as well. Like, I think I've made, a couple of my Uber drivers clients and things like that because they're fun. There's no such thing as a stranger.
Sure.
Strangers are just friends you haven't met yet.
Oh, where did you hear that, guys? I'm sure you've seen it, heard it at your Sunday class, but this is Mariana de Gortari with Innovative Premier Financial Solutions. Services, of course. It's been blocked by my phone. There it is, and I can't see anyway because I'm not wearing my glasses. Anyway, talk to Mariana about any kind of financial questions you have, especially if you're worried about what are you going to do with the money you have or the little money you have or your 401k? How are you going to ensure that your kids actually go to school and stay in school and go all the way through college? It's not enough to say I have one or two of them that are not so bright, so they're not going. They might end up being the geniuses. You just never know, So now's the time. If you have a young family, it's even more important. Don't you think, Mariana?
Absolutely. The sooner you start saving, the better off you are.
Okay.
If I could, ingrain it in every 20-year-old's head that if they started saving now for their retirement, and it's very little money, they will be multimillionaires by the time that they're ready to retire at 65.
So would that be 65, though?
Well, I mean...
Well, you'd have to save for 45.
Yeah, well, 59 and a half. You get penalized on almost every single type of tax-free or tax-deductible investment if you're under that age.
Okay, so 59 and a half, that's the cutoff age or what?
Well, that's when you can start collecting. And those aren't my rules. Those are Uncle Sam's rules. I'm sorry, guys.
We're just communicators here. That's all we do. So this is Mariana de Gortari. Mariana de Gortari is with Innovative Premier Financial Services. He's a financial services expert talking about investments and about savings and about things like that. So do you guys work with banks, Mariana, or who takes my money? Do you shift it somewhere else, or how does that work?
Well, so my team and I, we work at brokerage as well because a lot of people do like to invest their money in the stock market and things of that nature. And so I have specialists that do that as well. I also have specialists at our office that work in legacy planning, or better known as estate planning.
Okay.
And things of that nature. So we can really put your money wherever it needs to be. 401ks, IRAs. Right. Roth is personally my favorite because you're paying the taxes now.
Good idea.
So,
So, okay, so what I was asking, I guess, is this. If I have, I don't know, $100,000 in Wells Fargo, you guys can tap into that, and that's what you manipulate, but it has to be already somewhere.
Yes, you have to have some money.
No, I guess what I'm trying to tell you is I don't remove it from there and give it to you. It stays there. You guys just have access to it.
Well, no. So that money would be transferred into a savings account or whatever account you want it to go to.
Sure.
If you want to put it into whole life policy, then great, we can move that in there. It's got some tax benefits. You want to move it into the stock market. So we work with you. But we're a little bit of a three-legged stool. And that's what people don't understand. So while we do our thing, CPAs are also imperative to our practice. We work wonderfully alongside CPAs. And the last but not least, lawyers. Lawyers are wonderful at putting together trusts.
Okay.
Trusts you can't contest the trust, where you can contest a will. And so I always suggest people have a trust, and you need a lawyer. I'm going to stay in my lane because I'm not a lawyer.
Right.
And vice versa. And so the three of us work together. If you don't have one leg of that stool, well, what's the stool going to do? It's going to fall over. So we work with everyone in that way.
So we have several CPAs in our chamber. Have you worked with any of them? Have you talked to any of them?
I have talked
to
Consuelo
Santos, have you talked to her?
I have. She is wonderful, and we're supposed to grab coffee next week.
Okay, so you're actually going to be able to sit with her and talk. She's so busy.
Yeah. Hey, Busy is good.
Well, she came to our meeting last week. We had a breakfast in the Woodlands.
Yes.
And she was there with some of her staff. And what I've noticed about her is that she's very, very cooperative, very helpful, very, she just wants to help our members. And so hopefully she'll talk to you about whatever you need to talk about.
Yeah.
But also lawyers. Any attorneys in our chamber that you've talked to at all?
I have not. I
don't know if we have a state attorneys, though.
Well, I can work with the state attorneys because when it comes to estate attorneys, we do estate
Yeah,
work.
but we have a lot of immigration and personal injury guys. Those are the attorneys we have. So you can work with them, but maybe not for business.
Yeah, maybe not for business, but
Okay, so this is Mariana de Gortari. She is with Innovative Premier Financial Services. She's a financial services expert. She can talk to you about what to do, about your future, especially about your retirement, about how to get there, and not have to worry about your family, take care of you, make sure that you're independent and you stay that way. Again, thanks for being on the program, Mariana. I'm not sure what you wrote, but I'll look at it again. Because, it's just being able to read it. So, okay, so tell us a little bit more. Where are you guys located?
So our main office, what we do is we do virtual offices. So we're housed at over off Hollister and 290. But what I tend to do is work throughout Houston. And since we have virtual office, what that means is we're housed in Regis, but I can use any Regis office.
Okay, so you guys are Regis peeps. All right.
Yeah, they're great. They're phenomenal. And actually,
You like Regis?
well, we're actually in a Regis suite, housed in a Boxer property. So it's kind of weird.
It is weird.
But that means that I can kind of go wherever I want, and I travel. But here's the best thing: is I have clients throughout the nation.
I'm trying to figure out if we should look at Regis too. I've been thinking about that. It's just, I did Regis, and I lived in Dallas for some time, and I had offices there. And I had a Regis office on the 15th floor of this beautiful building in Las Colinas, which is in North Dallas. And the only thing that I thought was a kind of a very good thing is that Regis has offices everywhere, and I thought that was really exciting. So we're here with Mariana de Gortari. Mariana is a financial services expert with Innovative Premier Financial Services, or IPFS.
Yes.
When we come back, we're going to talk to Mariana a little bit more about who she works best with, what kind of services specifically she can help you with, and a lot more. So please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Don't miss Lone Star Community Radio on TV and YouTube. Our talk show and music shows are featured on Our City TV, Suddenlink Channel 12, and have their own YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe to keep up with posted shows and comment on them below the video.
Are you interested in learning more about preparing quick, healthy, and safe meals for your family? Would you like to spend time with others learning tips and tricks, along with practicing and tasting nutritious food? If so, the On the Road to Healthy Living Mobile Cooking School is for you. Call Amy Ressler at Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service at 936-539-7825 to find a class near you or volunteer to host a class.
The Hispanic Chamber Connection is sponsored by the Yamel Insurance Agency, located at 719 Sawdust Road, Suite 103, The Woodlands, Texas. The Yamel Agency is a family-owned insurance agency that provides home, life, automobile, and umbrella insurance coverage. Since 2006, the Yamel Agency has been a bilingual insurance service for businesses and private citizens in the Montgomery County area. For more information on the Yamel Insurance Agency, please visit the Hispanic Chamber Connection at www.irlonestar.com/HCC. The Yamel Insurance Agency is available by telephone at 832-525-5656 or online www.yamelagency.com. The Yamel Insurance Agency is a sponsor of this program, and the Hispanic Chamber Connection thanks you.
Hey, Montgomery County and online listeners. Thank you so very much for checking out Jazzy Vibes with Soul. What? You haven't done so yet? Well, you've got to tune in. Hi, I am the host of Jazzy Vibes with Soul, Miss CeCe Holmes, and I invite you to check us out every Friday and Saturday from 7 until 9 p.m., where you will get the best in old school R&B, and of course, a little smooth jazz to make it jazzy. So tune in. That's right, tune in. Every Friday and Saturday right here on Conroe's 104.5 and 106.1 FM or worldwide at irlonestar.com.
We are back. This is Dr. Carlos Sanchez with the Hispanic Chamber Connection radio show, a program that features members of the Texas Gulf Coast Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. And if you are a member and you are listening, this could be you. I'm right here with Mariana de Gortari. Mariana de Gortari is a financial services expert. She is with Innovative Premier Financial Services, or IPFS, and they provide all sorts of, I guess you could call them, foundational financial services for you and for your family, so that some of the things that happen in Hispanic culture don't get the best of you, especially moving forward. I know I have several friends who right now are taking care of their parents or actually live with their parents, and their parents are up there. I mean, they're like 80, 85, and it's very difficult because the parents, dad never wants to lose his independence, and he thinks he can drive, and you reach an age, I mean, even at our age, we struggle to drive, let alone when you're, 60, 70 years old. And because there's not a lot of money flowing, dad lives with the kids, and that just makes it very, very difficult, albeit very noble, because it's a cultural thing, though.
Yeah.
But if you don't have any money because you didn't plan for something like that, then what? It can become an issue.
Yeah, well, then you're taking care of your parents, and then you're taking care of your parents.
Sure.
So one of the things that you want to plan for is your retirement.
Right, so your kids don't have to take care of you and change your diapers.
Exactly, because I don't want my kids taking care of me.
And that's one thing. Mariana, tell us something else. So who are your best people to contact you? I mean, who do you work best with? What is your best, I guess you could call it not prospect, but like, where do you do your best work? With what kind of person?
So I love working with families.
Mm-hmm.
Middle class to upper middle class is...
Please define middle class and upper middle class.
Okay.
Is it an income level? Go ahead.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, is I will never, discriminate. I do a lot of work with vets, free seminars to show people how to plan.
Mm-hmm.
And first of all, the great thing about meeting with me is it won't cost you a dime.
Okay.
And it won't cost you a dime for me to put together a plan for you and your family. Now, I will ask that you don't take the plan I make for you and go use it with, your brother that's a financial service guy. But, other than that, that's all it is. You just meet with me.
So who is the best person, though? Is it middle income? Is $50,000 to $150,000 a year? What would be your preference, just so that our audience can sort of get an idea of who would be the best person?
I'd say 80,000 and above.
Okay.
Love working with small business owners. There's so many tax incentives in there that they don't take advantage of, and you can do that. You can provide different benefits for your employees and use those tax advantages, and those are the things that I can help you put into place. So I like doing business planning. That's a great, we excel at that. My team and I do an amazing job with that.
Business planning, what do you mean?
Business planning. So, for example,
or financial business planning.
Yeah, financial, like you're planning out your finances. Many reasons that people, say when you are ready to retire, what are you going to do with this? What are you going to do with your business? A lot of the times, businesses just shut down because they haven't had ample planning. A lot of the times, when you give it to your family, it ends up folding because they also
screw it up.
Yeah, they mess it up. So what we do is we're able to put in that legacy planning in your business as well. We also find ways to where if you offer, for example, disability insurance to your employees, that comes as a tax benefit for you and as a write-off, and it's a great thing for your employees.
Okay.
So not only are you adding more value to your business for your employees, that attracts better talent, which attracts a greater return. So, we put those things together as well.
So let me ask you this then. If you can, very, very briefly, tell us about your latest or your most recent client. What did you do? So that the listeners can 1 minute.
Okay. Well, one of the things that we did have happen, I'll tell you about a great story, well, sad but great story. We had a client that did pass away. He had kids, he had a family. What we were able to do is not only were we there on the best day of their life, but we were there on the worst day of their life to ensure that their family was taken care of.
So he was a client of yours?
Yeah.
Okay, very good.
It was one thing that they didn't have to worry about was the finances.
Ah, incredible. That's what most people worry about right away. I'm here with Mariana de Gortari. Mariana de Gortari is with Innovative Premier Financial Solutions. She is an expert in finance, and she can help you in your business. So, guys, if you want to reach out to Mariana, what would be a great number, Mariana, real quick?
It is 832-884-0430. Again, that number is 832-884-0430.
I'm Dr. Carlos Sanchez. This is the Hispanic Chamber Connection radio show. Signing off, guys. Thank you very much for listening. We'll see you here again. Mariana, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
And ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you again next week. Thank you so much. Goodbye.